If I lost everything in 2026, my pipeline, my buyers, my team, my systems, my momentum, all of it, and you told me I had to rebuild my real estate business from zero, I would not start by chasing sellers. I would start with agents. And that's exactly where most people would get this wrong. They'd start building a website, they'd start overthinking their CRM, they'd start talking about brand, they start trying to cold call, do direct mail, PPC, social content, and networking all at the same time. Basically, they'd start doing everything except the thing that gets them paid the fastest. I wouldn't do any of that. I do the simplest thing that gives me the shortest path back to conversations, opportunities, and cash flow. For me, that would be direct to agent wholesaling. That would be the entire comeback plan. One market, one list, one outreach channel, one follow-up system. Then get on the phone, underwrite fast, and close. That's it. So if I had to rebuild from zero, here is exactly what I would do, step by step. Step one, I'd pick one market. Not two, not five, not virtual nationwide, one market. Because when you're starting over, focus is more valuable than flexibility. I want one place where I can learn the neighborhoods, the pricing, the investor activity, the types of listings that sit, and the types of agents who keep running into properties that don't fit the normal retail buyer. That's what I want. I do not want to be guessing in 10 different places. I want reps in one place, because the more familiar I get with the one market, the faster I can make decisions. And speed matters when you're rebuilding. So step one is simple. Pick a market and stop bouncing around. Step two, I build a targeted list of agents. Now that I've got the market, I want to build a list of agents who are actually close to opportunity. Not every agent. I do not care about the agents selling turnkey retail houses in the nicest neighborhood to conventional buyers. That's not who I need first. I want agents who deal with friction, agents with stale listings, agents with fixer properties, agents with ugly houses, agents with weird houses, agents with landlords who are fed up, agents with failed escrows, agents with sellers who want a solution more than they want top dollar. That's the list, because if I'm starting over, I'm not looking for random conversations, I'm looking for the people most likely to run into motivated situations, and that's a huge shift. I would stop asking, how do I find more deals? And I would start asking, who already has proximity to those deals? That answer is agents. Step three, I'd use SimpleSend to text that list. This is where the machine starts. I'd load that list into SimpleSend and start sending text messages, not to write a novel, not to pitch too hard, not to explain my entire business, just to start conversations. That's the only goal, because the text itself is not where the money is made. The text gets the response gets the call, and the call gets the opportunity. The opportunity gets underwritten, and that's where the money starts. That's the sequence. So I would keep the message simple and direct. All I need is a response. That's it. And this is where people overcomplicate outreach. They think the perfect script is the secret. It's not. Consistency is the secret. A clean list, a simple message, and enough volume to create real conversations. That's step three. Step four, when agents respond, I get them on a quick intro call. The moment an agent responds, I'm trying to get on the phone, because text gets attention, but calls build trust. When you're rebuilding from zero, trust is the asset. On the intro call, I'm doing a few simple things. I'm explaining who I am, I'm explaining what kind of opportunities I'm looking for, I'm showing them I understand investor deals, and I'm making it clear that I'm easy to work with and not there to waste their time. That's the whole point of the call. I do not need to sound flashy, I need to sound credible, because agents hear from fake buyers and fake investors all the time. People say they can close, then vanish. People say they want deals, but they can't underwrite. People act interested, then disappear the second something real shows up. So on that first call, my job is simple. Make the agent think, okay, this person is serious. They get it. I should keep them in mind. That's a win. Not because I closed anything that day, because now I'm positioned correctly. Step five, I'd let SimpleSend follow up every 2 weeks. This is one of the biggest parts of the whole strategy because most opportunities do not happen on the first touch. They happen later. An agent might not have anything for me today, but 2 weeks from now, a listing could go stale. A seller could get more motivated, a deal could fall apart, a landlord could finally be done. That's why I would not rely on memory for the follow-up. I would not manually try to remember who to check in with. I let SimpleSend handle the consistency and follow up every 2 weeks automatically. That way, I stay top of mind without making the business more complicated, and that's how a pipeline actually gets built. Not from one text, from repeated exposure over and over and over again. And from staying visible long enough that when the right situation shows up, I'm the person they think of. That's step 5. Step 6, the second an opportunity comes in, I get on the phone and underwrite it very fast. This is where the business gets real because texting feels productive, automations feel productive, building lists feels productive, but none of that gets you paid unless you can evaluate real opportunities quickly. So the moment an agent sends me a deal, I'm getting on the phone, I want the real story. What's the address of the property? What's the asking price? What condition is it in? What does it need? What's the seller situation? How motivated are they really? What's the realistic ARV? And is there actually enough room for a wholesale fee? I won't ask it that way, but I'll be like, hey, is there enough room for a flipper? That is the game. Not touching leads, not bragging about outreach, not talking about pipeline. The game is being able to look at a real opportunity and know very quickly whether it deserves my time. If I had to rebuild from zero, this is where I'd focus hard. I would get brutally good at underwriting because you do not need to be the loudest person in the market if you are one of the fastest people at recognizing a real deal. That's the edge. Step 7. If the deal works, I'd move. If it doesn't, I'd move on. This part matters a lot because people kill momentum by getting emotionally attached to bad deals. I would not do that. If the numbers work, I move fast, I communicate clearly, I stay close to the agent, I keep the deal moving, and I do what needs to happen to close. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I don't force it. I keep the relationship warm and go back to the system. That's what's important because the comeback does not come from squeezing every possible lead into a deal. It comes from staying disciplined enough to protect your time, protect your energy, and only go hard on real opportunities. That's how you keep momentum. So if I had to summarize the entire rebuild plan in one sentence, it would be this. Get in front of agents, stay in front of agents, underwrite fast, and close the good ones. That would be the whole strategy. Not because it sounds sexy, because it's lean, because it's simple, because it gets me close to the opportunity without requiring me to build some giant machine before I make money again. And honestly, I think a lot more people would make money in real estate. They stopped trying to look like operators and just became one. Because this business does not reward the busiest person. It rewards the clearest one, the most consistent one, the one who can get into conversations, evaluate opportunities, and move. So if I lost everything in 2026, this is exactly what I would do. I'd pick one market, I'd build one targeted list of agents, I'd use SimpleSend to text that list, I'd turn responses into intro calls, I'd let SimpleSend follow up every 2 weeks, I'd get on the phone the second opportunities came in. I'd underwrite fast, and I'd close the good ones. That's the comeback plan. And honestly, if you're trying to build a real direct-to-agent system instead of just piecing it together manually, that's why I like SimpleSend so much. It handles the part most people are terrible at, consistent outreach and consistent follow-up. And that matters because deals usually don't come from one message. They come from staying in front of the right people long enough for timing to line up. So if you want to build this exact kind of machine where you're getting 20 grand, 40 grand, 100 grand a month, where agents get contacted, intro calls get booked, and follow-ups keep running every 2 weeks without you babysitting it, then SimpleSend is the tool I'd use. Check it out below, and if this video helped you think about the business in a simpler way, subscribe, and I'll keep breaking down real strategies that actually help you get paid. See y'all on the next one. Peace.